Okay, now to set up the derailleur cables, again, we need to start with getting the length right. So the rear one's actually pretty good from what I already cut it to. Let's see, so we get it in the slot, or roughly close. We'll have to put a cap on it. And I might actually just take a small piece off the end. So my initial cut was pretty close. And again, making sure it's nice and round on the inside. Might as well do the front one as well. Same time. So again, route it the way you want. This is the cable that had all the extra stuff. So with these shifters, you have the option to come across. It's a bit tight though with the hydraulics, so probably best to go around the outside of the handlebar. Again, here. Oh, frick. Okay, let's see. So when you're doing this, you want to make sure you have enough cable on the backside. I've got both cables already plugged into the derailleurs. That way I know the correct length. When you're doing the front derailleur, good to make sure you have the derailleur at the highest point. That way you don't start low, go to raise it, realize you don't have enough cable length. So again, clear. So what we'll do is grab 2 caps. Put them on. And then unravel the cables. So the cables already come pre-installed on the shifters, so that's not a problem. And then because it's fully routed, we should just be able to put it through one end and then pop out the other. If you find some of the resistance when you're going through the cable right at the beginning, that means some of the wires may be crimped in and you might need to try to loosen it off again. Dental pick, great for that. Let's see, close. There we go, now it's at the other end. Perfect. And we'll slot it in. And same with the front. So I'm just using the stock cables. They don't seem that much different than the cables that came with the Jaguar Pro Slick, so didn't really feel the need to switch them. Feels super smooth, so far the routing seems good. Just squeeze it in there. Right, perfect. So from here, probably be a good idea to lock down the cables and tighten up. Okay, to lock down the levers, I'm going to do something that I normally wouldn't do. And that's just torquing it with the round end. Already talked about it. So you want to make sure the levers are lined up where you want them. And then I'm going to get that round end in, make sure it's all the way in. And I certainly wouldn't recommend doing this with a lower quality Allen key set, especially if you know you've already partially rounded it. You'll just end up ruining the screws. And then it's still a bit loose, so what you can do is take a wrench and sort of get your leverage. Again, normally not recommended to do this, but it's just so hard to access that bolt. And be careful, you get a lot of leverage with something like this, so I like to hold it in a bit as if it was just the Allen key. Otherwise, you'll risk tightening it too much. Let's see. You can just check that it's tight on the bar. Feels good. Side 2. Make sure they're lined up. That one moved a bit. And torque. That feels tight. I can always come back if I feel it loose later. That looks good.